in terms of technology, building AI agents. Then Tara is co-founder at Curate Data, and Mr. Mudit. So I request the panelists to come and take their seats. So we'll start.
Hello.
Is it working?
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll start with quick introductions. Over to you.
Thank you, Rajiv, and thank you for inviting me. I'm Madhur Sharma. I'm the CFO of Louis Dreyfus Company. Louis Dreyfus, I take care of India and Southeast Asia, particularly India, Bangladesh. Louis Dreyfus is an agri processing company, and also we are into consumer packaged goods. We are mainly in B2B space and have presence across 105 countries, and it's a 174-year-old company, one of the biggest player in agri trading business.
Yeah.
Over to you, Raja.
Good afternoon, all. Raja Brajbhushan. So I'm CTO of Curate as well as co-founder Binomial Group. As long as AI is concerned, so like my exposure to AI is since 1998. Actually, that time we were using in our college AI for analyzing ECG, electrocardiogram, C programs, and like that time we were struggling with processing power. Like even the 300 node neural network, it took around 4 to 5 days to train. Wherever right now we are working in millions. So that was the difference in computation, because we were working on a 186 and 286 computers. So things has been changed very drastically. So my majority of my experience is with the CDEC R&D, Google, and ThoughtWorks. So these were like major milestones in my career. In terms of role, I was mostly technical architect throughout my career, and mostly working on either manual or process automation or AI. So that's like brief about me. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Raja. So I am Tara Singh Char, co-founder Curate Data Analytics. I will give you some perspective what we are planning to, or I am planning to do, and especially why we have kept this session also. If you see, many of the startups are failing in last, or have failed in last 4-5 years, 4-5-6 years. And when even I started this company, the entire thought process was, when business is run by only 3-4 people sitting at the top. Whatever they decide, that is getting executed by the people who are below them. Now the aim of Curate Data Analytics is to build some kind of good decision making tool which can help these 3-4 people sitting at the top, whether it is the finance head whether it's a sales head, marketing head, or owner. These are the main people who can take decision in advance. They should be able to see what is going to happen 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, or 3 years down the line. So that is the entire objective where we are working, and this is the main part, because at the end of the day, people who are doing business, they are doing business for profitability. So we are working. Let's see how much time it takes, but we are moving in that direction, and especially AI is going to help in big way. That is what I have seen in last 3 years since the time I have started working on AI. But my objective is very clear. I want to help organization in taking this decision, so that even after spending 600 crore or 200 crore or even 7-8 crore, they should not fail. That is my objective, and that is my introduction.
Yeah, hi. So I introduced myself before, so I'll make it very short this time. I'm Udit Mathur, corporate experience of 25 years with Johnson Johnson and 3 years with Dole after that, Dole packaged foods. Currently, I'm into teaching, I'm into consulting, and I'm also supporting Tara in taking his mission forward, which I believe in, which I think is appropriate at this point in time. And given where the technology is, given how things are evolving, I think we have an opportunity to shape on how things happen, and which is what is the exciting part of this journey, which is why I'm here as well.
So coming to today's topic, when we talk about AI agents, so one thing that comes into my mind, a movie in Matrix 20 years back, so where the computers took over the entire humans, and so is it just thinking out loud? So when we talk about AI agents, what does it actually mean? Is it going to be 5 years down the line, something like that, or especially if we talk about for business in terms of finance, in terms of forecasting? So for the sake of audience, let's discuss what actually AI agents mean.
So I'll just cover the brief of that, and then usability Tarabia can explain. So the brief of agent is, I was explaining to somebody else also, like it's like I hire somebody who is expert of something or not, whatever it is. I hand over a bunch of files or bunch of data to him or her and ask him to like go through it, just by heart it, and then after I said like I'll ask your help whenever I need it. So I ask him what is my last year turnover, what all cases are there on our company, what is our legal status, how it is going on. So like, or it could be of anything. It's not necessary to be the business. It could be non-business, or it could be the teaching also. I can have like hand over all the white papers and ask him like which white paper is suitable for this particular invention or something like that. So that person is agent to me, which is what is that, like whatever I'm talking about, that person is that AI representing that person. So that is a agentic AI actually in terms of definition. So it could be of raw data, whatever is there on the internet, by default it will be there. On top of it, you can have n number of layers of your own data, and then after you can start grilling that particular agent like you have trained him or her for your purpose. So yeah, please.
Yeah, for us, you see, finance, being a CFO, for me is problem first, then the technology comes, this tech related comes later. So there are quite a lot of problems which we have, and we as a CFO, which is rightly highlighted, like data handling, how it is handled, and how fast I am getting the reports, and whether the forecast which we do, how much variance which we could see in that forecast. And important for us is to, every department has to be on the top of the things. Like currently the challenge is, there is a lag in terms of decision making. So all these things which when I put across the table and when we discuss with my team, we have our AI COE team, Center of Expertise in our company, and an important from update which I got from them is yes, there is a solution, and to that extent I know AI, and AI means it can provide you very AI agents which can provide you quite real-time update, forecasting efficiency improves, data handling reduces, the error of in data gets reduces, you get prompts or instant updates so that you can take right type of decision making. So AI agent from that perspective I understand, and for me to understand AI agents or agentic AI is very important because I can then only adapt or appreciate this technology and get it implemented in my company, because that's the biggest challenge, because around AI agents there is always hype. That hype is settling down, and the discussion which is now happening in my company is whose job is going to be at stake. It's the hot discussion. It's rather than how it is going to help us, how it's going to. So from that perspective, that's the problem statement, and having AI agents or agentic AI, how it will support us. So that type of awareness, which we are currently in that phase, and though we have been having some ML tools also, machine learning tools, which is being developed, but they are not up to that stage where we can do what currently I have seen, like Curate data, or I don't know, many tech savvy companies have already come up with that different type of software programs.
No, so again, the experts have spoken. So my perspective on this also is a user perspective, which is that we deal with so many data in the organization, and forecast is one example where when I talk about sales number and when I talk about something as simple as next month ka number kitna hai, right? I can get a number from supply chain, from finance, from sales, from the frontline sales, from the distributor, and none of these numbers will look the same, right? And I think that's the biggest challenge in the business, in spite of all the data, and in fact because of all the data, that there is so much of muddy water around us that I think we literally need something to step in and clear it out and crystallize, saying this is what it is, these are the variations, this is where the risk is, this is where it's not adding up, right? And I think that's what it does, right? I mean, it can look through immense data and come back and do this simple analysis of saying, where did different people think about the numbers coming from and where it actually is. And then as you analyze it, as you roll it forward, it can also be a tool that helps different set of people to correct their ways of forecasting so that they can do a better job of forecasting based on the alerts and all the bias analysis that can be shared back with the team. And sometimes you can even automate that, and once you automate that, then you don't even need that human intervention. But from my perspective, I think taking the human intervention out is the last step. What you really need before that is how do we improve the process, and how do you get to a place where you're able to, all of us are able to talk the same number and look at the same picture of what it looks like, what the rest of the year looks like. Are we going to deliver? Are we not going to deliver? All of those basic questions, right? And the basic questions in business, which are still, not very clearly and accurately forecasted today. Your SNOP, I mean, I spoke about all of that. So it really is an issue which I think, is where agentic AI gets in and helps us to work from a technology perspective, from a computer perspective, based on what Raja just said, of all the information that you can, preload and help the system to understand patterns. What computers do best is to understand patterns. Once they understand the patterns, then they are able to figure out what are the aberrations, what are, where does it not follow the pattern, and therefore the cues and triggers?
I think just adding to what you are saying, see, we have seen this problem in terms of you ask a person what is going to be the number, different people, different number. That has been the challenge of the business across. And we used to jokingly tell, throw a dice and you get the number, let's start with that number. So even whether you would be facing this kind of challenge, business needs certain certainty in terms of how much would be the number so that they can plan. So this has been a predominant challenge in terms of what is going to be the forecasting, what is going to be the financial performance. So moving on to this, how AI is helping in that? Is it bringing more reliability? Can we throw some light in terms of what are the on-ground real examples where this is helping in terms of improvements?
So see, when I look at my 6, 7, 8 years, I have done a lot of work in startups on this entire financial modeling. And this financial modeling is from operations perspective also and from a strategic perspective also. Operations perspective is okay, how much will be the cost for this setup. So suppose if there is this, you are building the organization, your sales team cost percentage. So what kind of percentage cost should be there for that sales team, and then how it will move over a period of time. I have seen the cases where P&L is made okay, in 3 years company will be profitable, but I have seen that in 7 years also that is not going to be the profitable, and that didn't make any profit even in 7 years. So that is my learning from both operations perspective and from the long term perspective also. Why I am gung-ho on especially AI part, because I have seen many founders losing money in this entire journey, and it could be founder is saying okay, I want to do this much business, sales is saying yes, it will happen because marketing comes later on. First it is the sales part, but if you go in depth, that number of sales will not match to the total number. But since you are not using any kind of strong system, that's why that founder is not able to understand, or founder is not getting help from that perspective where he or she should be able to take decision whether that money should be invested in this way or not. There I see a lot of support from AI perspective, where even founder is the business minded person. He is not the data crunching person. So this tool can help him. This tool can help him in supporting in all making all those decisions rather than only depending on the people. They can take the opinion of the people, but the end of the day, if they are using system and there is a huge difference, then that is the red flag, and they can decide what kind of decision they should take or what kind of decision they should not take. From that perspective, when I see AI agents or use of AI in this entire system is going to help. That is from the higher level perspective. Second is the operational perspective. This is my budget, how much you have spent. If you know that on hand or on time, then you can make better decisions. You can utilize that money in a better way. Sometimes it happens, people don't know, they have spent more. Sometimes it happens, they have not spent the money, and that is even worse situation. Why? Because that money is already allocated for that, and if that money is not spent, that you will not get that outcome. So that is, I'm talking something which is other way around. So I say spend money, and if company say you spend money, if that money is not getting spent, then that is the another problem. Because of that, this entire business derails. But when we use AI, especially in that part, or even some part of BI also, that is going to help in big way in terms of financial planning, financial forecasting.
To add to whatever Taravi is saying, like if I put it in tech terms, there are three things majorly where AI can help in all businesses. Real-time simulations. Real-time simulations means like majority of what-if scenarios. If we put this much money into marketing, this much into sales, this much into procurement and all, what will happen to the business, and what will happen if we try to change these, the balance of all these. So that is one, like you can real time do the simulations and just predict things, what would happen if things are approximately same way whatever it is working, other than the disasters and all. Second is surface the hidden things, because whenever we think or whenever we do a gut feel, whatever we say like this is as per my gut feel, it all depends whatever data points you have considered at that particular point of time. You might be knowing 100 more, but that time whether you thought those points or not. So like surfacing the hidden fields. So but AI will not do that mistake, because it has trained for everything. It will just consider all those things whatever it is. And third is reducing the decision latency. So decision latency is like mainly because of the data latency which comes, and data validation which comes in picture. So these three things are major in my opinion, where AI will help drastically, and that will be a game changer.
I can add here, because with Practical Live, we started our consumer packed goods 2023, and now we have scaled very well to 800 to 1000 crores in 2 years only, in 10 to 11 states. It's one of the business line which we have, and it's not the traditional business line where we are. It's a main SKU driven, dealer distributor driven. We have depots, and it's into soya, sun oil, palm oil, and under the brand name Vibhor. So we started this, and it has picked up quite well. But the challenge being a CFO, which I am facing and which is rightly being highlighted, is there is a forecast, and that forecast accordingly the marketing team gives a forecast, the sales team gives the forecast for the numbers across different states, 10-11 states we have across various territories, and the supply chain team accordingly plans out, the production team produces those SKUs, and accordingly they have those people deployed for that. And what happens is, it's a new business for us, and there is suddenly a spike in demand in one of the markets. It was not in the plan. So there is a lag. When the information comes, by the time that the demand we cannot meet up, because the production team is producing different SKU, supply chain team is rerouting the things to a different market, because I cannot. So having AI, this is my problem statement, which I always say, what is my problem, and fancy tech will come later. And for me, AI agents, because you guys know tech, I understand you guys, so I go with my problem. This is my problem. How you guys can help me provide AI agents or to accomplish a particular task, or agentic AI to accomplish a particular goal. And from that perspective, I could see that there are quite good number of solutions available, which will simultaneously talk to each other. These different agents will talk to each other in a manufacturing AI agent or a supply chain, and accordingly, if there is a sudden demand, it will reroute, ask the supply chain team to reroute to that market, ask the production team to produce so many SKUs from that perspective. So I could see that the power of AI is quite good, and why I am saying it is a problem, because till now I have not found any solution. And if you will ask any FMCG companies also, we have been talking, they are not able to answer this, because even though we have a very good ERP, but ERP has its own limitation, the lag effect, the real time updation of data, talking to each other. I think this is the next level, which is going to be quite beneficial, and we are very open to embracing.
One more thing I would like to add over here, I missed it while I was explaining the agent. So as Madhu was telling, they have tried ML also. So the difference between normal AI ML and the AI where agent works is based on the learning pattern. In case of AI, agentic AI, the learning pattern is unsupervised. Unsupervised means you just give tons and tons of the data and let the AI analyze it and understand what are the patterns over there, and based on that knowledge give the answer. Wherever ML depends on, like you have a person who doesn't know anything and somebody is teaching him, whatever the capability of that person who is teaching can only be expected from that person. So this is the major difference, and that's why the agentic AI is picking up, because it requires less amount of training inputs, because it figure out by itself. As the term says, unsupervised learning, it doesn't require a supervision for learning.
Yeah.
Got it. I think that is a very critical point. So data has been, I know the companies have their own journey. Some are at zero data, still operating on paper and pen. And the data has been, say, 20 years, 25 years. But what is changing with AI, I think, Raja, you have put it right, the ability to digest enormous data and think independently. So a human also, a CEO, CFO, or a leadership can build certain number of hypotheses, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's look at this. But with AI coming in place, we have, I think, that capability where you expect the agents to think of a hypothesis and bring in the insights. Is that correct?
Yes.
When we talk about AI agents. Yeah. So moving ahead, in my college days, we used to talk about garbage in, garbage out, right? So means there is some dependency on people who are using it, or the change management required. So how do we handle that piece? What kind of challenges do you foresee in terms of human organizational angle, uh, allowing people to adopt this? What can be done? What is happening on the ground on that front? Because AI is there, I see there are lots of best of the best systems fail, multi-crore projects in organizations because people are not adopting. The solution is there, but it's not adopted. So is it the AI also has to go through this challenge, or how do we take it?
I personally feel like this agentic AI will have a less friction in adoption, as like the Google Assistant, the Google Home, Alexa, all, like nobody need a training to how to operate it. Similar way agentic AI is also going to work. So I would say like there will be less learning curve and less friction. But yeah, definitely, it's not like zero. It cannot be termed as zero. That's my opinion, because it understands you along with your questions. It also understands your context. It also understands the kind of data whatever is relevant to you based on the conversation in the past and all. So it rather than it just gives you answer, it also try to understand your pattern, and based on that it gives you answer. So I think the adoption would be faster.
I can give you my practical perspective. We are a global big trading house, trading agro and agri processing, top 4. So our assets are human only, traders who are the best of the guys from the top universities and top colleges. So and I means we have seen the way they have been adopting AI is not so, I would say, open. Reason because first the way they used to trade is going to change. Second, I being a CFO also, I want who is going to take the responsibility, whether the agentic AI or whether the person behind it. And we are always under the eyes of regulators. It's like we are always being called by the ministers and minister secretaries, agri minister, commerce minister, textile ministers, and they always ask us or question us, and for the trading calls which we take, and because it's a very regulated sector where we operate, not in India, across the world, but India is more regulated. So if you will have agentic AI to take calls, and who is going to explain to the regulators? What I will say to them, and being a CFO, I'm always in scrutiny. Who did it? Why you did it? who accepted this. There are stock limits, there are Essential Commodities Act, there are many things which we have to be very careful and cautious, and our important government has to come up with regulations so that awareness has to be there. Second, the traditional archaic system has to actually be means have to talk to each other, which is very difficult. AI wants every system has to talk to each other. How it is? It's a one. I use my own trading software. I have my own research team because we do scientific trading only. It's not, and I'm very risk averse. Being a CFO of such a company is much more challenging than the CFO of a manufacturing, which is process driven. It's very entrepreneur driven, and we have big turnovers. Our margins are very small. If you will ask my AI agents to take a call, who is going to give or take the responsibility? So adoption, I would say, will come with awareness, and human intervention for sure has to be there. It has to be slow, but seeing the pace of Gen AI, how fast it has come up in last 3 years, and that's fine. It's a reactive model. It's based on prompt, but this agentic AI is autonomous. It's much more advanced. It's a worry. It's a worry. Regulators has to come up with some regulations, has to give us clarity. Till the time, I would say I would be very not open-minded to accept it. Even being a CFO, I know the advantages, the benefits has to be very much, I would say, in black and white. The regulation has to be there.
So, the short answer to your question is like the basic disclaimer with all AI and everything is like use it as your assistant, not as your master. So that is the short answer. So the long answer to this is, let's say you ask something, what will be your decision? Then you should not stop over there. That will solve your queries. Because let's say if I ask like for this particular software to be GDPR enabled, what all things I have to do? I say like 1, 2, 3. Then I should ask which all laws it is following. Based on what you are answering this, that will produce a document which
agree with
which you can. So you use it as a like you're a person who you have trained for, but you are the decision maker. So you should ask for all the evidences also. If you are worried about whether it has considered all of them or not, which all rules it has been followed, and the advantage would be it will answer immediately, so it will save your time. But it should not take decision on your behalf on critical systems.
But there is with the way that it is evolving, the Gen AI, which is LLM based, and this Chat GPT, which has been a hype now a lot, and Gen AI is reactive. It's based on prompt or it's a language image model or large language model, whatever you say. AI agents is next step. It's task oriented. Now with this agentic AI, they will listen to you. I don't know, because at one time they will cross. The way that it is evolving, I'm very much worried. There should be some regulation. Till Gen AI, it's fine, because still it listens. We give them prompts, they give me reply. We use that for our benefits, for tax litigation, for drafting our cases, whatever the extent to that possible. We have been using or reading our financial statements. Like we use ChatGPT, upload the financial statement, it gives you a trend, it relearns, learns, but that's fine. It's up to human to interpret it, accept it or not. Yeah. But when you give to this agentic AI, they are the masters. The way they are nowadays moving in that direction, so something has to be there which will control them, which has to be regulation has to be there.
I think that's a great point, because not to that extent, but to some extent in a different context. We also have that even in a typical FMCG, where just back on the example of sales numbers. So even if there are 10 sales numbers, as the head of the business, I have to communicate one number. And I can't say that this number is this number because of that, right? That number is my commitment number. So therefore, that onus of sifting through all of this, right, and in future sifting through all the agentic AI outputs, it will still be, I would imagine, it will still be some human who would say, okay, let's go with this or let's not go with this. I am hoping, maybe your fear is very valid, that if it is going to go on its own, and say, okay, this is what I am saying, and therefore this is what we will do. And humans are now not in that line of action. Then that's a concern. And then then the question which you're raising is the right question, that so who's accountable, and is machine really accountable, right? Because
I say to my team, it's like a nuclear bomb. Whether you will get energy or it will take
blast
you also with
yeah.
it. So we have to draw a line, and we have to make sure that it doesn't crosses the line. And that line, I think all are responsible. The regulators, we,
correct,
and everyone has to be very
yeah.
clear and cautious about this.
Absolutely.
And that will only bring in this whole hype thing. Every job will go. These things. Awareness is very much required.
Yeah.
You have to talk, you have to speak, you have to say what are the benefits, and you have to use it like it's a assistant to you. And for that, I don't know that India is an IT hub, and the way things are evolving, one day they will surpass us. I'm fortunate I'm not in that.
Surpassing on decisions is not possible unless you autopilot, you give an autopilot control to that particular thing, because as long as you are using as an information source and source of truth, that problem would not be there. But yeah, as like if you start using it as in a kind of a give it like the entire control, then yeah, things are messy.
Who is to draw that line?
I think
That's the thing.
there is a lot of talk about moving from agentic AI to AGI, where we are talking about artificial general intelligence, where the idea is it will evolve to replacing the humans. So just picking from, I was talking about adoption challenges in terms of change management of people, but there are two other dimensions also. There are three dimensions to the adoption of AI. One is change management of people. With ChatGPT, Trend, I think that should be taken care. But there are two other aspects. One is what about the regulation, which Madhura has talked in detail. And third one is also about the data security. See, as an individual, we have seen, if I'm talking about something, tomorrow the ad will flash in Google about that. Or Apple saying or WhatsApp talking about your chat is only totally encrypted, this is only limited to you. But for organizations, this is a very big challenge in terms of the data. If it is with AI, it is trained, then what will happen to the 40 years or 100 years of legacy the organization which is running? So maybe if we can throw some light on that, how is that dimension risk going to be taken care?
So if I look the way I am experimenting with these latest AI, because I get every day morning 4 o'clock information either from Azure OpenAI or OpenAI. Okay, this is new, this we are deploying today. The things, the way they are changing, the pace is very fast. And in the morning we have given one demo also where you can talk. You can easily talk to AI and you can ask any kind of question. The next experiment which we did in office only. So now AI is talking to AI.
That's the problem.
But that has started. So I'll give you the example what we did, what we simulated at home. We put in two AI computers. Then we said, you are this person, you are this person. Now you have to discuss and decide what is right, what is wrong. Okay. Now then they started talking. Okay, these things are good. Usage of AI, what should be there in AI. Now those agents are talking and you are listening. They are in fact deciding, talking and telling, talking and telling. So that is, but that level has already started coming in. And this has started since last almost 1 month only, where the space has started moving. So I don't know, but we need to see how in a better way we can use it, because negative use can be of anything. If I take internet, okay, biggest theft happens on internet now these days. That is the negative part. But then you need to see the positive part also, which is without internet, you can't live even for 1 hour.
I agree with that because Internet of Things is actually shaping up the way we have been working for last 20 to 25 years.
Yeah.
But it's always human is always behind the scene. Here, now also one AI agent talking to another
Yes.
is through an API.
Yeah.
But if that API is not there, and automatically, like, there is some human intervention has to be there. If there is no human intervention, if they all started talking and it's an agentic AI framework and which is like fully autonomous, that's the problem.
Talking about the movie Ravan.
Probably it's I don't know, but yeah, but that part some regulation outline.
In fact, what I heard is that in the example that you are giving of what you were doing at home, what I and I don't know how true that was, but actually after a certain point in time, the AI started talking in machine language, as in literally garbage, like tonal language and not even human language, because they realized, both of them realized, oh, we are actually AI, why are we talking in English? So we can talk in a machine language. No, but jokes apart, I think these are the future challenges of businesses, that as we adopt technologies, we have to be conscious of the legal and the regulatory concerns that will also come up with this, and hopefully they will also be addressed as we go along, because, and it's always the case, right? The regulators are always behind the industry, because the industry does the innovation first and then do this. But from whatever we are hearing right now, it looks like the AI world is all, in the fourth gear or sixth gear or whatever gear, and the government at some point in time will say, okay, now let's sit down and see, okay, how to regulate this. At this point in time, I think the governments are also saying, we don't know what this is, let it continue, because the flip side of regulation also is, lack of innovation. So the government wants to right now be supportive of innovation, do what you want to do. In fact, they're helping in setting up AI, infrastructure, all of that stuff. But bringing it back to the original, discussion, I think what is, to your point about how can we literally get onto this whole AI game, I think for me the important thing is, apart from the training and skills and all that, is also the data infrastructure. I think a lot of organizations still do not have the right quality and the right kind of data available for them to actually leverage AI. And that's one of the, opportunities which I think many organizations will, and hopefully it will become more clearer as things develop, that they will realize that, oh, we don't even have this. So for example, even for sales, can all of that sales data and all of those assumptions come onto one platform? How do we capture it? What's that data architecture going to look like? Where are we capturing the assumptions? And then how are we, because only when you capture all the assumptions can you, even as AI, decide whether that assumption really has this implication, or is it just we think that, for example, in the morning discussion ki गर्मी ज़्यादा होगी तो powder ज़्यादा बिकेगा is an assumption that we have. I don't know whether that's a bigger driver or that's a self-fulfilling prophecy कि summer आया है तो जाकर के आप माल डाल दो, जब माल डाल दिया तो बिकी जाएगा. And we've seen this in our businesses also. Sometimes these are self-fulfilling prophecy. हमको ऐसा लगता है इसलिए हम ऐसा करते हैं, हम ऐसा करते हैं इसलिए ऐसा हो जाता है, right? Now this is something which, as humans, we have built all of these biases and all of these quirks in our systems, in our data, in our everything, and this will all look very different when you start seeing it from an AI lens, because the AI will be able to see the pattern, and the AI will be able to tell you that, boss, this is actually not true, right? This is not what it is. This is your own induced, variation in the forecast. So, but for that, I think, like I said, the availability of the data and the standardized data, all of that data working together in the same pool for the AI to then start working on that is one of the challenges that will have to be addressed.
Yeah, to summarize it, AI for our company it's quite immense in the way do a trading. Our trading business is quite big enough. We started this consumer product goods, but we have this weather forecast data. We have this rainfall and what you have been talking about, and also the yield and the acreage it has been there. So all these data comes from different sources, and we have this trading team who sits and debate and discuss, and it has a lag. So if all these systems talk to each other and give real-time update,
Yeah.
it's not for preparing a balance sheet for
Correct.
supply and
Yeah,
production numbers for India, it is for the global also.
Yeah.
So it has immense benefits, and it will give you a
The speed
edge
of,
over
yeah,
that.
yeah, the agility and the speed with which you'll be able to respond to these changes.
So we have been
Also,
doing that, and this agentic AI means, I would say I'm a bit cautious, but AI agents are very good in terms of a specific goal driven. But if you have this AI agents talk to each other without any control, though AI agents are by themselves have limited autonomy, but if you give more autonomy, so that then who is going to take the responsibility these things. But we are adapting, we have to accept, and a lot of benefits are accruing, and it's a thing which we have to embrace it, and without it I think we will be out of the market.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, I want to quote over here is this OpenAI, whatever they have released, they have developed it long back. They were not able to release it because they have to put a layer where it cannot be used for bad, and that took them many months actually. So your worry is not not like baseless; it's like very much valid worry. Yeah, that is, and whenever anything starts, people just see the positive, but negatives are also there. So that
You
those
have to balance out,
Balance
and CFO job is always to ensure that the risk is mitigated
Yeah.
first. Then only you go and jump into that.
So we are heading towards the end of the discussion. A quick question. Every day I closely see AI. In every 15 days there is a new update. Maybe we'll a couple of minutes on what we see as the future, 2 year, 3 year down the line. This is last, then we are open to the questions. Where are we heading 2 years from now in terms of AI?
See, when I look this entire AI piece, and almost every day I get into it because I have though I come from the sales and marketing background, for a longer period of time I have done that. But after my engineering also, I was very good at neural network. I used to do programming at that point of time. Now when I see the this AI, I used to, when we started this company, and then people ask you, okay, why do you want to start technology company? You are from the sales and marketing. But at that time also, my thought was driven by entire business decision. And then at that time, me and Raja both imagined, I used to tell Raja, okay, I want somebody who is sitting here, and when we are talking, this is the third person who is talking to us, and whatever questions I am asking, I want the answer of that. I worked in J&J, Mudit is there, and even Vikas is the MD. Then विकास यूज टू आस्क क्वेश्चन, ये डेटा कहाँ है, ये मशीन लगानी चाहिए, सेंट्रो की 12 करोड़ का इन्वेस्टमेंट है, शैल वी डू इट? So that answer which I used to take out from that data, because I was having that data experience, okay, data, okay, I was having that cognitive learning ki how sanitary napkin category is moving in India, how it is moving. So I have seen the time where the total category size was 200 crore, 200, and now category size is 7,000 crore. Now if this category is moving, that information which I have, I used to narrate to Vikas for putting any kind of investment or machine. Now I wanted that to inbuilt into the system, okay, and when I started working on that, I see I am able to replace many of the things. Okay, I am able to replace many of the developers. I'll give you the practical example about this. I don't know SQL. I used to ask every time Raja, Raja, if I have to sum up this value in SQL, what I need to do. And since the time I have started using AI, I have never asked Raja. And the kind of answers, like whatever, if I can think that, I can get the answers from AI. That is the level of AI. And when I see these developments, because I keep tracking trends, in US, most of the people used to talk about BI 1 year back. All BI awards, every day I get around 7 to 8 mails for BI award that I used to get 2 years back. Now every day I get mails for 10 AI awards. So that is the way things are changing in this. And in terms of outcome also, whatever I was expecting 3 years back, now I am able to get that outcome. When I am talking about the agents, even I was planning to have panel discussion among AIs only. Only one thing I presented in the morning, but that testing I did, but I said it is too early, let's not do it. Otherwise, that I was planning. So things are moving very fast. 2 years down the line, how things will change when I see this entire movement about AI in decision making. I see in 2 years there will be massive changes, and massive changes, the kind of changes we might have not thought. At one point of time, one of my seniors said कि तारा 4-5 साल में है ना, तुम जो सेल्स कर रहे हो ना, the job which you are doing, ये तुम्हारी वैल्यू घट जाएगी. And that value depreciation I can see, because at one point of time, that person who used to do sales in that particular market, he was having control because of relationship. Now if Amazon is coming, quick commerce is coming, the person who was I call it Sharmaji, he was very good in sales, that distributor is not buying, or that retailer is not buying from Sharmaji, that person is buying from either quick commerce or e-commerce. So that change is happening drastically, and in 2 years, if you ask me, I see drastic change in terms of availability of these resources. How we are going to use it, it will again depend person to person, organization to organization, but there is ample pressure, and the expectation is you don't want to change, that's okay. But from consumer perspective, consumer to me now, they say कि यार मेरे को जो sales planning करनी है, मैं AI को बोलूँ कि इसका कितना sales plan होगा, AI should give me the answer. That is the expectation of the organization people, because they have seen कि ChatGPT को मैंने बोला तो ये आंसर मिल गया. So if that is the expectation, then you can't stop AI moving in that direction. So that is my point of view from 2 years down the line.
Understood. I think the Darwin is playing at highest level now. Either you adopt it, learn it, or you will perish. Yeah. So any questions? We are open to questions. Yeah.
There is always one question in my mind, as well as I have discussed with Tara also, that after coming this AI, what will happen to the technological world, whether the jobs will reduce or that will increase. In my assumption, I think it is going to increase jobs. So my question is that what impact this AI is going to do on this new generation economy? This is my question to all of you. Have you got my question, please?
Yeah,
Yeah.
means I can give that, because me, even in my team also, I came across this type of question. So, you see, human beings by evolution, means I would say actual fear, what it is, what we perceive, and the imaginary fear, if you compare it, is 100 times bigger. Because that's the way we have been evolved, because we have been in jungles and everything. And now with this AI thing, same fear is going on. Actual fear is not, I would say job losses will not be there. It's the imaginary fear which is actually taking our minds and controlling our minds, and that is far, far bigger than the actual. Because we are, human beings are made to live in jungles, and that jungle fear God has created, and that fear is still with us. So with AI also that fear is there, and that is all only registering us whether we should accept or not, and we are getting forcefully accepting it. My take is the dependency on the tech, the IT people, which we used to have, the functional guys, will come down for some time. Because if you are a sales expert, you would be much in demand. Because somebody has to ask AI. If you are a finance expert, you would be much in demand. If you are an IT expert, question mark. And India is big into IT only and software, and that's the reason much hype is here. And because that's the job which we have been doing it, we have grown seeing people doing their job. So from that perspective, I would say, but in a different way, IT jobs will be created, because a lot of technology, if everyone are going to use, cyber security will come in a big way, and then there would be cyber security experts which would be there. So it will channelize, but yeah, there would be, it will take time, but the evolution is going on, and that evolution is creating, I would say, confusion, doubts, and we as human beings always think of first.
In my opinion, like the jobs will actually realign rather than job losses. They will be realigned. The person who is doing today, like creating Excel sheets or something for data, he will be managing data in a different way, in a very efficient way, rather than he or she is not required. So those kind of things will happen. The only thing is that the way it happens in whenever it was like no computer world to computer world, the same thing will happen. Whoever do not want to adapt, yeah, definitely he will be out of the league. So the people they were the people whenever in all the department, they make it like computer mandatory, and they were people who don't want to work on that. They didn't get promotion, or they didn't can continue the job. So that will be a different story. But otherwise, it will not, it may create like more jobs, because the efficiency will increase, and every efficiency require more manpower to fulfill, to support, to every other function.
Any other question?
What about the knowledge evolution? How it will affect the knowledge evolution in the people? Because most of them, since they are school time, the students will get used to the AI. So will not it affect the evolution of the knowledge to the general mass?
The same thing we used to think when we got introduced to calculators, like in general. So like after some time, people will not able to add or do something, but now even computers are there, but that doesn't happen. So when there was no Google, we used to dig everything in books and all other stuff, but now being Google is not deprecated the knowledge, otherwise we couldn't have evolved this fast. So now we are evolving fast, that means the knowledge pool is not degraded. So I think that is just kind of a.
But on a lighter note, without Google Maps, I miss a lot of lives.
No, but that is not. That is.
But
not
I think I know where that question comes from, because that's a real, and in fact there was a Forbes report very recently which said that people who are using ChatGPT, they are actually losing their ability to think. There is research too.
They are losing.
They're losing their ability to think critically,
Okay.
and so there are a lot of thinking. So this research is on the internet, so you can. I haven't done a deep dive into it, but there is data to say that. And it is the same thing, we used to look at he gave an example of calculator. Abhi, if I ask somebody 13 into 14, they will not remember.
They will
Right?
just
हम लोग ने
pick out
बचपन में
the
किया था ये सब.
mobile and then just
Yeah. So I think reskilling is one of the words, but I think human brain and human, ingenuity will find other ways to engage and other ways to grow. So that's where I think the future is going to be different, because like in the past, all our effort as human beings was in figuring out how to, do farming, how to shield ourselves from animals. We've come a long way from there. Similarly, I think, as the old knowledge becomes institutionalized in computers and networks and all that, I think we'll have newer, ways to use our brains, and hopefully that will be all good. I don't know, but there's always hope.
and it's kind of an evolution only. Another example is the capability to like sustain adverse weather conditions and all. We are all losing on those compared to our ancestors. But is it affecting our life?
It's affecting the life, and we are moving in a particular direction,
So we
right?
are evolving in a different direction actually.
So yeah, I mean, there is a change, no doubt, and this is probably not a reversible change. It's going to change us in different ways. We don't know what that looks like, but hopefully it's going to be good.
Yeah, Sumit, you were having a question.
Any other question?
Yeah, hi Madhu, this question is primarily for you. So you rightly said that there are a lot of risk compliance, risk regulatory. People are using AI for a lot of just to save their time also. And recently I was stuck in one major issue with one of my client, where there was a business transfer agreement and somebody asked the person to prepare a summary of that, or the bigger terms and conditions. So that guy has uploaded that on the ChatGPT and asked the ChatGPT to prepare a summary of that. Well, in that sense, you're losing your data privacy and all those stuff. So the organization like, large organization where 8,000 people are working, 10,000 people are working, you're carrying that risk within your organization because you can't control the people. But there has to be some maturity in the people also, just to understand the privacy and the data, everything. So what's your take on that? How you can control all those risks, traveling within the organization?
See, that risk, we are a big company spread across all the 5 continents, and that risk, we anticipated that, and what we did was, for every employee has to give a certification, go through that certification. Whatever the AI they are using, it is on ethical grounds. They are fully responsible for that. Organization is nowhere responsible. And there was a AI course also, like what is regulatory risk, what is ethically, what you can use, plagiarism you should avoid. And after that you have to certify that yes, I am not going to use AI. This is going to harm our organization, and it's the sole responsibility. So everyone has been mandated to give that. That's the one way we can actually, and you see, ChatGPT is like, he's telling you, means confidently things which you are not correct at times. And the conviction level is very high, which I always say to the team, please be very cautious. The conviction level of these type of LLM tools are very high, which will give you an impression that whatever they say is correct, but it's not correct. You have to have your own way of, and make sure that you take ownership of that. So that awareness we are trying to pass on to the team, because ChatGPT is available to everyone, and this type of organization is protecting its own risk by getting you to certify whatever you are doing. You are responsible for that. Company is not. So by that, the I would say using in a rampant way without using your brain is stopped, and also this awareness ki you are better than them. It's they are only to assist. So they are your assistant. Don't make them your master. So that type of awareness. So it's very important. That's why I say who has to draw the line. So within organization, we have to draw the line till the time someone draws it for us.
So with that, we'll end this panel discussion. I would like to thank all the panelists. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you everyone. Lovely. We'll have a just.
Mission.
Oh.
I just had to turn my role.
No. Done? Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm the one only receiving.
We all got
No, yes.
Either as moderator or.
Now I would like to